Everybody, welcome to week 4. Now, before you start week 4, I will say the assignment this week is a little bit simpler from a structural perspective than your chapter 1, but more complex from a length perspective. You're going to be creating an annotated bibliography, and although it's a structured process, we are going to ask you to review at least 16 current articles. And just from experience, the best way to do this is do at least 2, 3, 4 a day rather than waiting till the last minute. Find an article, review it. And I want to go through some structured ways to do that, some resources that are available for you. But before we do that, let's just go through the assignments. I sent you an email with basic instructions for the readings. Discussion board 1 is simple, but discussion board 2 is really important. So I want to go through that with you right now. This is your peer review for chapter 1. And I'm just going to read it for you. Now that you've submitted your chapter 1, share your chapter 1 with your peers. Upload it to this discussion board as a Word document. I know it's kind of archaic, but we're going to stick with Word documents to say structured across all courses of Concordia. Under 2 of your peers' post, state that you have chosen their paper to review, and this will serve to assign you to their paper. So it's really simple. Just look for ones that haven't been done yet. Please try to choose a peer that does not already have someone signed up. Provide some detailed feedback, and you can read this. Very, 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 very important to critically, constructively, simply, efficiently review one another's work. You're going to stumble across some papers that need a lot of work and need your feedback, and some that are done amazingly. And these are all things that are going to help us become better technical writers. So keeping that in mind, your feedback is going to be done via track changes in Word. And if you've never done that, it's really simple. So here I have a document right here. You go to Review, you turn track changes on. I have the ability here to do all different types of markups. So let's say I want to actually correct something. So instead of instructional strategies, I want to say teaching strategies. I can go in and just do that right there. Okay, and that's going to leave that, but it's also going to show the original one. But if I want to make a comment, I can just highlight here, say new comment, and I can say, interesting that you chose self-efficacy rather than, rather than intrinsic motivation. So you can make some comments there. I'm going to go ahead and turn track changes off and just delete all that work there. Okay, so you'll save it, you'll upload that for your peer. With respect to the assignment for this week, this annotated bibliography, and to let you know, your chapter 2, which is by far the most intensive part of this process, is something that you are going to complete during 605. So don't feel like you have to do all this work this semester. This semester is really for editing and reformatting and redoing and prototyping your chapter 1 and getting all your articles set so that when it's time for 605, you can really dive in. Because the nature of this project is exploratory. You're not doing an actual research intervention. So the quality of your literature is very, very, very important. Go back to the library orientation if you need some additional help. So you can read this yourself, but it does give you this guide with respect to how to do it here, how to create an annotated bibliography. And there's really 2 types. One that's a summary annotation and one that's evaluative. And my advice would be to start with the summary annotation, and here it gives you a model with the APA reference and a summary of that article. And then at the end of it, you can go through and you can tag on this evaluative feature if you like, and you can read more about that there. With respect to the type of literature you're looking for, here's something that I like to do. Okay, so I wrote, and these are not the headings of my paper, this is just the way that I'm going to attack it. So let's say that the title of my exploratory project is Instructional Strategies for Promoting Reading Self-Efficacy in Middle School Students. So in layman's terms, how can I get students to show, intrinsic motivation isn't the word, show more self-efficacy or more drive and perseverance towards owning their desire to learn more about reading. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do in this literature review is I'm going to first discuss what self-efficacy is in general. Let's go ahead and just get a definition of this. So, refers to an individual's belief in his or her capacity to execute behaviors. So, how can we help students believe that they can be more fluent and more comprehensive readers? So what instructional strategies can we use for promoting their belief that they can be a stronger reader? Okay, so self-efficacy in general, and then we're going to hone in on research around self-efficacy in middle school. So this is, what is self-efficacy? What studies have been done to prove that it's a construct? Okay, and then we're going to look at reading self-efficacy. So self-efficacy research that's already been done around reading, okay, the belief in yourself as a reader at the middle school level, okay? And now that we've honed in on reading self-efficacy at the middle school level, we're now going to hone in on strategies that have been used already in the past to promote reading self-efficacy at the middle school level in general, and then reading self-efficacy at the middle school level. So we're honing in. If I was reading this literature review, I'd first look at it and say, okay, so now that I understand what self-efficacy is, and now that I understand how self-efficacy plays out in the middle school grade levels, I now am learning more about reading self-efficacy in the middle school levels, and now I'm learning more about how to promote reading self-efficacy in middle school and in general, and now I'm learning how to promote reading self-efficacy in middle school. So it's honing down, and then this project, this exploratory research project, would then ultimately be designed to perhaps market or relay information, make suggestions for future teaching interventions with respect to promoting reading self-efficacy at the middle school level. If this was a research project, you would then design your own intervention to promote reading self-efficacy in middle school and then conduct it and collect data. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be looking at what's already done in the research and suggesting possible interventions. So just one way of organizing it, what I would always do when you think about creating an annotated bibliography is start broad. This paper is about self-efficacy, so tell me about self-efficacy. And then it's about self-efficacy at middle school. So tell me what's happened there. And then it's about a specific subset called reading self-efficacy. Tell me about that in general. Tell me about that at the middle school level. And tell me what interventions have been done in general and at the middle school level for that. And the reader then feels really, really focused and honed in. So creating a little structure like this can really help you. Start with the title. Start with your research questions and only look for articles that hover around those, honing in at your specific grade level. So really, really, really pay close attention to the format that's provided here in this document, and I think it can be really helpful as you go through this. What I would do is I would just create a template in a Word document and just keep going from there, banging out 2 or 3 a day.